Welcome to the Making Real Estate Fun podcast. We're here at Emmet in downtown Downers Grove. We're having some beers and talking about insurance today with Jonathan Twitty from State Farm Insurance. He's a friend of ours. I'm joined by my co-hosts, Keith Hoffman from Draper and Kramer Mortgage Corp. Did I get that right?
You got that right.
Excuse me if I stutter. Taji Clark from Coldwell Banker, he's a realtor, and I'm Kevin O'Flaherty from O'Flaherty Law. And like I said, we're going to talk about the pitfalls of homeowners insurance, and Jonathan's going to educate us, and we'll tell you a little bit about the beers we're drinking here at Emmett's Brewery and how we like them. So, Jonathan, thanks for being here.
Kevin, thank you very much. I appreciate the invite. Thanks to you too, Keith and Taji. So really appreciate the opportunity to come out here and talk a little about real estate and insurance and how it's important to everyone involved in the process.
So tell us, a home buyer or a home seller, what do they need to know? What are the fundamental skeletal topics that they need to even think about when it comes to insurance?
So I guess when we're talking about homeowners insurance 101, for the first time home buyer, usually they're unaware of what's being covered. And there's two different types of policies mainly here in the home insurance realm. You have homeowners insurance policies, which is covering the dwelling itself, so that's actually the structure of the house. And then you're also looking at all your personal property, so everything inside. So I always like to break it out. You have the structure, you turn your house upside down, everything that falls out, that's your personal property. So those are the two main things that we're covering. And then you get into townhome and condo policies. So those typical policies are covering from the walls in. So usually your association's covering the outside of the structure. So those are the two main policies that we're typically dealing with here in the state of Illinois.
How do people prove personal property loss? Do they need receipts for everything they bought? Or?
It's not a requirement. I mean, it makes the claims process a lot easier if you do have receipts for some of the bigger ticket items. If you're dealing with a 2-bedroom condo and there's a claim and someone says they have 4 55-inch flat screen TVs, that's going to raise some eyebrows. And you might have a special investigation unit come into play there with that claim. Okay. But people are often very concerned, like, oh my gosh, do I need to keep every receipt? They don't have to. It's something that really, it's good to keep some type of list. So with all my clients, I tell them, create some type of log. If it's pictures, if it's video, if you go through, create like a Word document or an Excel document of some of your items. If you have 6 men's suits, great. If the female in the house has 50 pairs of shoes valued at, $10,000, because I've seen that before, write that down, because if there ever is a claim, it's an emotional process. It's going to make the whole process a lot easier for, the insured and for the claim adjuster who's dealing with it. So
if you need someone to help you do a video log, Tom Weiler Studios, doing our videography. Thank you for that, Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah. Things like engagement rings or expensive jewelries or heirlooms. Is that something I'm sure that's something you would get a special writer for?
Yeah, you do. So we at State Farm, and we do something we call a personal article policy. So we separate those high ticket items and insure them, usually with a $0 deductible. So if all of a sudden if a stone does fall out, if you lose your ring, you're not going to pay anything type of deductible. It's going to be replaced. So very important. I've run across a couple claims where people didn't want to insure those, and it's fairly cheap for the coverage you're getting. And they're always pretty disappointed when we come back and tell them, well, we're only going to pay up to, say, $1,500 for a jewelry item that was maybe worth $8,000. So. Sure. Yeah, so it's very important to, and we do a very good job, my staff and I, of talking with, asking, like, hey, do you have any jewelry that's worth over $3,000? Trying to figure out what's important to them and what we need to make sure should be covered. It's never our choice what we're going to cover, so we're always asking the homeowner, hey, if you have these items, here's what we recommend, and it's up to them whether they want to go through with it or not.
One of the things that, as a mortgage lender, we always are concerned with the deductibles.
Yes.
So I know that there's a minimum amount, larger amount. Can you give us a little idea, of what's the best thing and where they range?
Yeah, it's a wide range. Things are changing a lot in the homeowners industry right now. I kind of compare it to the health insurance industry, which people are very familiar with. We're seeing raising deductibles, and that's what's happening in our realm at the same time. So, the $500 homeowners deductible, it's kind of rare. There's a couple companies that still have that out there. You know, we do percentage deductibles, which are all based upon your dwelling. So the lowest you can get is 0.5%. So if you have, you know, a $2,000 dwelling coverage, the lowest you can get is $1,000 homeowners deductible. So, and really, you know, the higher deductible you go, the bigger discount you're going to have on your premium, which is good. So it's talking to people about what their kind of pain point is when it comes to, you know, looking at these deductibles. And it's educating people on, you know, when to file a claim. We can never be the person to say file a claim or don't file a claim. It's trying to get as educated as possible and making sure that they're aware of, okay, hey, your rates could go up if you file this claim depending on what caused it. But the more, I mean, the more, obviously the lender, you guys are concerned.
Sure.
You don't want someone to have too high of a deductible if they're not going to, if they don't have that money to back it up at the same time. So we're looking at all those financials.
What are some things that people can do in order to lower their premiums or lower the amount that they're going to shell out for?
Okay, so, and we're always concerned, I mean, everyone, we want to make sure you have deadbolt locks, fire extinguisher, smoke detectors. But if you do have a smoke detector that actually, if it goes off, it's going to alert the local fire department. That gives you a discount. If you have an alarm system that is covering doors and windows and reports to a central monitoring station, that's going to give you a bigger discount. Unless you have just, you know, that basic, we call it a local alarm, where it's okay, you have the ADT system, but it's not being monitored, so it's just going to make a loud sound if someone comes in. So there's various levels of discounts on there. If you're claim free, that helps out. What people don't realize is if you call up your insurance carrier and file a claim, even if it doesn't pay out anything, that still is on your record as a claim. And if you go to switch insurance, you're not going to have as low of a rate as you would if you didn't have that claim on you. So it's very important, I think, to, no matter who you're with, you want to discuss with your agent and get educated before going and filing the claim. Unless you have a hole in your roof and you have water pouring in, you want to get that claim filed right away.
Is there a rule of thumb, like a dollar amount rule of thumb? Like when I do a bankruptcy for a client, I'll say, it varies for everybody, but really if it's less than $15,000, you really don't want to do a bankruptcy. Is there a rule of thumb where it's like if it's less than $10,000, you're probably not going to be
that's a great question, Kevin. There's not. It's pretty funny. It's like I've had people who have had $1,000 deductible and they had $1,200 worth of damage, and I asked them, like, well, can you afford the $200 and not file a claim? And they said, well, why would I do that? This is why I pay my homeowner's insurance.
Sure.
Well, that's why we see homeowners rates, continue to go up, and we'll always see them go up in the state because of all the crazy storms that keep coming through here. People think that the hurricanes down in Florida impact us here in Illinois. It's not. It's the tornadoes, it's the hail, it's all the wind. So that's what impacts us here in the state of Illinois. But I try to have that discussion with all my clients when they're thinking about it. I try to get some reputable contractors to look at a potential claim to see if what the dollar amount's going to be. So
if they're working with you, they'll call you up and say, here's the damage I had, here's how much we think it's going to cost to repair, and you can give them an assessment of how much you think their rates will go up.
I can never see how much the rate's going to go up. I can look at if it's not weather related, I can look and say, all right, this claim's probably going to this claim free discount's going to fall off, so you can see your rate go up this much. But really, we want to get educated. I'll have the contractors look at it for free, sit down. If they have a $1,000 deductible and there's $10,000 worth of damage, I mean, myself, I'm going to file the claim, so I'm not going to fork out $10,000 to have that repaired.
I was going to say I had a claim, a water problem at my house, and State Farm is my preferred insurance company. And what I found out is I had about $80,000 in damage in between the 2 months that they put me up in a hotel and the damage repair in my home. So I was really concerned when I got ready for my renewal how that is going to affect it. How much will that affect somebody in a huge loss like that?
Well, it's never going to be whether it's if it's $10,000 or if it's $100,000. A lot of times, I mean, you could have a surcharge on there. That's something that those come from underwriting. Me, the agent, I have no control over that. I'll call up and I'll talk about a scenario and find out if this happens, how much could it go up?
Right.
So we can try to estimate everything, because I think it's important to have all those figures out there. When you're dealing with $8,000, I mean, that's a
$80,000 is a lot of money.
That's a pretty good sized claim.
Chump change.
And kind of how you mentioned, I mean, another important factor, aspect of the homeowner insurance policy is, we're going to put you up somewhere else for up to 2 years. This is State Farm, so we're going to put you up for up to 2 years, pay for any additional expenses. So if you're spending, say, $200 on food a month, and now you have to spend $400, we'll pick up the extra $200. So there's a lot of different coverages in State Farm homeowners policies. That's very important, that people often have no idea is there until I sit down with them and educate them.
All right, lightning round, basement flooding, go.
All right, water back in the sewer.
Oh my God.
Yep. Okay, most people think that they get their homeowners policy if water comes in their basement, typically through a sump pump fails, it's going to be covered. It's not unless you have a backup of sewer and drain. So you need backup of sewer and drain coverage. The only time it will be covered underneath your homeowner's policy is if you actually have a clog on your property, so in your house. So your kid decides to, flush a whole roll of toilet paper down the toilet. It overflows, goes down the basement, causes $80,000 worth of damage. All right, that's your homeowner's policy. But if your sump pump fails, you don't have backup of sewer and drain, you have 3 feet of water in your basement, you have no coverage.
Get the fishing pole
roofing.
out.
Give me roofing.
Roofing. Okay, another another fun one that we're dealing with right now. So we find that a lot of people use that homeowner's policy, or try to use it as a maintenance policy. So they have the roof, it's 20 years old. Oh, I'm not going to repair it. I'm just going to wait for a storm to come through. Well, here's what's happening now is the adjusters are going to come out, they're going to look at it, and they're going to say, hey, most of your roof is normal wear and tear, so you might get paid out a little, but most likely you're not going to get your entire roof replaced unless it's newer. I mean, that's the thing. If hail come through, wind, I mean, those are most of our roofing claims. But we don't, we don't depreciate the roof at all. There's some companies out there that do. So, if you have a roof that's 15 years old, guess what? It's going to be depreciated 15 years. And
Last lightning round question: umbrella policies.
Umbrella policy is very important. You're a lawyer, Kevin, so you're familiar with this. So an umbrella policy is giving you additional liability coverage to extend over your home, your cars, boat if you have that, and these follow you around the world. So I've seen some crazy things where, I had a client riding his bike down in the city, hit someone that was running and got sued, and that's a liability policy. Comes in, pays out for it. So. But yeah, umbrella is very important. I think everyone should have one. It's there to protect your assets, everything that we all work very hard for. So you don't want to leave anything exposed.
You did well in the lightning round. You're not going to have to reimburse us for the beer. You won.
Hey, good, yeah.
What are you drinking and how do you like it?
So I'm drinking the World's End. It's their IPA. It's great, a little hoppy, not too hoppy though. So if you're an IPA fan, I think it's a great choice. Very smooth. I'll definitely be drinking it again.
I'm doing the cow tipping milk stout, and it is very creamy and delicious. I'm a stout guy, and it's doing the trick. How about you guys? What do you guys got?
I've got the Peacekeeper, which is a wheat beer, and it's doing exactly what it's supposed to do. It's keeping the peace right now.
That's good. Well, I'm drinking the same as Jonathan, and it's a really great beer. And I have to tell you, if you are anywhere in the Downers Grove area, you really need to come down to Emmet's Ale House. This is a fantastic place. It used to be another microbrewery. It was taken over, redone, and the Burns family is the owners, the majority owners, I should say, managing ownership. And it's a great place, so, come on down.
Yeah, great place in downtown Downers Grove on Main Street. It's kind of a Downers staple, I guess, at this point.
It definitely is. They're also sponsors of Rotary Grove Fest, and they participate in the craft beer event. So I know they'll be here in the summertime when we're here drinking some cold beers out there. So
All right,
And they have great weekly specials too. So I think on Thursdays they're half off pitchers. If that's the
I think
case.
half off pitchers, and
Yeah.
I know they changed, but
Great
$2
food, I mean.
$2 tacos on Tuesdays, 2 tacos, like you can get.
They're not paying any. We had to buy the beers. They're not paying anything for this.
But no,
commercial.
thank you, Joe, for letting us come in here and enjoy this.
But it's a great place. So Jonathan, how can people reach you if they need some insurance for the home? Or
Well,
any
I'm in Downers Grove at the corner of 75th and Fairview. Phone number is 630-964-0646. My website is insurewithtwitty.com. So you can find me on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, a little bit of everywhere. So yeah, feel free to reach out if you have any questions or need help with anything.
Yeah, and Jonathan's a good friend of all of ours, and we all highly recommend him. Keith, how can people reach you?
They can pick up the phone and call 630-306-LOAN, 630-306-5626, and that's the easiest way to get me.
Taji?
Best way to get in touch with me is through my website, just tajiclark.com. All of my social media accounts are there, phone numbers, email address, everything. That's the easiest way to get me.
All right, and if you need help with any sort of legal issue, real estate related or not, you can call O'Flaherty Law at 630-324-6666. Check out our website, makingrealestatefun.com, for a lot more content, blog articles, podcast, video blogs. I also do 2 other podcasts, learn-about-law.com, which is about law, all areas of law, and seizeyourbusiness.com, where we interview business owners. So check those out too. Thanks so much. Before I forget, Tom Weiler, Weiler Studios, doing the video. We really appreciate it. So if you need a video for your home that you're trying to sell or for your business, he'll help you out, and he's doing a great job. Thanks for listening.